Yep, so here to talk to you about the future of brand in 7 minutes. And that's a AI-generated image of a dragon, not our brand identity. And I got that song by So Solo Crew in my head 21 seconds ago. Anyone in their 40s might know what I'm talking about. So Dragon Rouge is not a Chinese restaurant, as the name might suggest. We're an independent global branding agency. So we work with some of the world's best-known brands on their brand strategies, identities, and experiences, very often when they're rebranding or creating new brands. And we're French headquartered business. So in order to talk to you about the future of brand, it's useful to look back at the past and how brands have been positioning themselves and marketing themselves, right back to after the Second World War and the emergence of advertising. So in the 1950s, you start to see the first branded propositions. And then through in the 60s, you see lifestyle segmentation. In the 70s, the first book was written on brand positioning. In the 80s, you start to see vision, mission, and values. In the 90s, it was all about brand essence. And then the last couple of decades, it's all been about brand purpose. But we're now seeing, unfortunately, some purpose fatigue. And through to the present day, 2026, we are at the latest phase of the technology revolution, which is the introduction of AI over the last few years, which has enabled hyper-targeted content marketing and personalisation. But with this, we see an opportunity for brands to pivot away, as Simon said, from being static brands to live brands. So moving away from static generic segmentations and uniform content with brand-centric narratives through to dynamic, real-time personalisation with interactions and collaborative conversations with consumers, people as well. So I'll talk to you about 4 ways we think brands can make the shift from static to live by becoming deeply human, by displaying mindful progress, by resisting mediocrity, and offering sensorial immersion. The first principle, deeply human, is about hyper-personalisation. So AI has led to hyper-targeted marketing, personalisation. LLMs, so large language models, are enabling brands to have conversations with people and consumers. So people are enjoying the fact that when you search for something, you get an interactive conversation rather than just a finite one-time answer from Google. So this means that brands, in terms of their identity, have the opportunity to be more personalized, responsive, and adaptive. So a couple of examples of brands that we think are doing that well. The first one is Disney with its Magic Band Plus there on the top left. So that tracks consumers' emotional reactions to content and then offers advertisers the opportunity to connect with personalized experiences. Sephora's virtual artist enables consumers to virtually try on makeup before they buy and then offers the brand the opportunity to kind of foster a sense of ownership. The second principle, mindful progress, is all really about digital burnout. I'm sure many of you have felt this over the last 5 or 10 years. So really we feel that brands have the opportunity to offer some agency back to people and actually offer them a better quality of life. And it might sound counterintuitive in some respects, but actually some tech brands are doing this really well. So there's a mobile app called the Forest app, which is the first example, which is an app that you have on your phone which rewards you for spending time away from your screen. So it gives you vouchers and tokens that can then be turned into real money to plant real trees. On the top right, you've got Humane AI, which eliminates the need for screens altogether by projecting onto skin or fabric, so we don't need to have screens around. The third theme is about resisting mediocrity. Because AI is not ever genuinely humanly creative, we run the risk of kind of being surrounded by a sea of sameness and average content. I'm sure you felt this when you've searched or created things with AI. So we believe that there's an opportunity for brands to invest into human creativity and the time that's needed for human creativity to work alongside AI to create things which are truly original and creative. A couple of examples of brands that are doing that well. So Liquid Death, you've probably seen, is water in a can, but through its unconventional branding and quirky personality, it's really standing out in the water category, which is pretty boring. It's all about purity and nothing else really. And it stands for a sustainable message as well with the can. And then Mischief's global supply chain telephone handbag takes designs from Hermes, Dior, Balenciaga and Celine, and used designers and factory workers around the world to create something which really takes the mickey out of the lack of originality in the fashion space, but still sells it for $480. And then the last one, brands are able to, because of AR, VR and haptic technology, they're able to be experienced in many different ways. I love this thinking that there are 8 senses, not 5. So you've got the 5 classic ones, but you've also got movement, balance and interoception, which is your gut or your stomach and how you feel down there. So really an opportunity for brands to do more with those extra 3 senses and the 5 existing ones. So motion and sonic, in terms of brand identity, have kind of been table stakes for a while now, but we think there's the opportunity to really up the ante on the extra ones and offer a more sensorial experience. So WeTac on the bottom left is a wearable technological skin which uses AR and VR to give tactile feedback to experiences. The Moment Factory on the right offers integrated digital and physical experiences that really use all of the senses. So just to reiterate, we think there's 4 ways that brands can go from static to live. I imagine you're probably managing or consulting for brands, so I would ask you just to think about how well and what more you could do in terms of making that transition in those 4 themes away from static to live. Thank you very much.